toxic mold became such an issue because there was no limit as to how much people could go after in damages in lawsuits. Mold itself is not inherently hazardous. I'm very fond of blue cheese dressing. And that's basically a type of mold. And a lot of the cheeses, mold is what gives them the flavor that they have. 10% of the population has a sensitivity to mold that it's such that it makes it difficult for them to be around the mold. Their eyes water. Sometimes they experience impaired cognitive function. Sometimes their skin itches. Of that 10%, half of them, it can be lethal. It can lead to serious complications. I don't today have a mold sensitivity issue, but there are many scientists that theorize that it could be cumulative. So I avoid exposure to mold wherever possible. And if any of you are dealing with bank-owned properties and you walk into that place and you catch that whiff of that musty smell that you know it's moldy, you really should have a nice paper mask in your glove box of your car and some rubber gloves, and offer your client the same. In fact, some people will just say to their clients, you can go in if you want to, I would prefer not to. And mold remediation may not be that difficult. One of my students in another city saw a house that was in an area where the houses sell for about $90,000. The sales listed price was $20,000, and right in the remarks it says it's mold contaminated. And he put on his mask. He's 25, he's immortal anyhow, they don't know any better. He put on his mask and his gloves just because I told him so, and he went in and looked and went, this is gross, okay? And he called a mold remediation specialist and got an estimate, $12,000.
Goodbye.
So did he buy it? He's a kid. His mom gave him half the money. And absolutely. And he's not going in until the mold remediation specialist says, here's your certification, it's good to go. You think that house is going to sell for $90,000? In a heartbeat, because it's been all fixed and gone through. When people hear mold, they get all scared. The one thing they want to say is, oh, black mold. Now, not all mold that is black is the dreaded black mold. The two molds that are considered to be the black mold are in the Stachybotrys family. If you're ever looking that up, it's spelled Stachybotrys. I said it incorrectly for 2 years until someone was polite enough to interrupt me and say, Gwen, it's Stachybotrys. Okay, Stachybotrys atra and Stachybotrys chartarum. They're the two black molds. They are naturally occurring in all of Michigan. They occur outdoors in our fields and forests. Well, why don't they just stay out there? Well, because we like to walk in our fields and forests, and probably this weekend if I get a shot, I'm going to go out and see if the morels are up. And we come back in the house, and our pets go out and they come back in the house and they drag those mold spores in with them. Now, real black mold, the Stachybotrys mold, is slimy. Not that I would ever touch it, but I would look at it and it looks slimy. It's got a shiny edge to it. A lot of other molds kind of look fuzzy. And the one thing about black mold that's very distinctive, it lets off a substance called mycotoxins. Mycotoxins' intent in the universe is not meant to kill us. It's intended to ward off other molds. Where mold exists, that's other colors. You could have yellow, green, orange, whatever. They just all mix up. But you have some Stachybotrys mold, that's all you're going to have because it's going to pretty much ward off all the other molds. Once the mold gets in our house, we provided everything it needs. Mold needs 3 things to survive and 4 to thrive. To survive, it needs food, water, and air. Gosh gee, we have all that in our house. We have food. What would be food? Anything organic. The paper covering the gypsum board on the wall. Cotton, wool, wood. Oh gosh, yeah, we do put wood in our houses too, don't we? So it needs food, water, we have moisture in our houses, and air. And to really thrive, it needs a quiet little place to get together with its other mold buddies and release its spores and propagate. In ordinary stick-built construction, along a wall, you're going to have good insulation the whole way. When you hit a corner, you've got all those 2x4s that are sistered in together. That creates conductivity. Any place hot meets cold, condensation is going to occur. If I had a nice tall glass of ice water right here, it would be sweating on the outside because the room is warm. So in that corner, you have a place where condensation is going to occur if you provide it with a quiet little place to get together to release its spores. It's going to really thrive.